Bless it.
Oh wait, I recorded right now. Do, do, do. Ooh, recording. With Jessica Finney.
I
yes,
love
I do.
musicals. Man, if they had put on anything from The Little Mermaid, you know it would have been over.
I felt like you didn't do it because I wasn't there. Like it would be like cheating.
A little bit. That's kind of our thing.
Yeah. Appreciate it. I was already feeling FOMO. I'm like, what am I doing here at these stupid fights when I could be singing karaoke?
She would rather be in Seattle than singing karaoke. I thought I knew you.
What? Are you serious? I hate people. I keep telling you I'm an introvert, but you don't believe me.
You're not.
I would love to be at home with my dog at every moment, but I make myself do things like this. I felt like it was important to like go out into the public, do like a little victory lap. I hadn't done that in a while, and because it was in Seattle, it was also a city that I wanted to visit with Adam, so it made sense. But like, I would much rather be in my PJs with a drink on the couch and my dog on one side, my husband on the other, and just watching TV. Like that's a great time.
That's life.
Yeah, or in a room full of your closest friends singing karaoke.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah.
You were missed.
Yeah. Oh, so the karaoke party happened because of our friend Jenna Bishop's birthday. She's also fighting soon. She's going to be fighting in April, I think.
Like 5 weeks out, I think.
Yeah, and she has a big matchup for the PFL tournament. I'm not sure if it's been announced yet, but I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good one. So she had a quick birthday party, and everyone got together and sang karaoke and left me out.
You left yourself out.
By myself.
Oh, my goodness.
Big, cold, wet city. getting angry at fans, or one fan.
Did you have a romantic walk around the fish market and the flower
We
market?
did.
Yay, you got to see that.
We did. It was really cute, actually. We had a really long walk, and it was funny because when we were coming from the arena, we ended up riding, or I ended up sitting next to, but also riding back to the hotel with our boy Chase Hooper and his baby mama and his newborn, who's so precious.
Adorable.
So precious. She had her little baby headphones on all night. And at one point she went,
oh,
and did the little,
and your ovaries.
and I was just like, Adam, bathroom now. Time to donate. Oh, it was like the most adorable baby. She was one of those kids that made you want one, as opposed to the ones that make you not.
I see a lot of those.
There's so many out there, but lately I've been seeing a lot of very calm.
It's a sign.
Yeah.
The universe.
I'm just
telling you it's time.
The bad ones I'm just not seeing. There's a dog walks by instead, and I'm like, ooh, dog.
Those rose-colored glasses.
Yeah, exactly. So that was but no, when we were riding back from the arena, it was like a 30-minute drive and also a 30-minute walk, and I'm like, oh, let's just walk. But then Brian's like, whoa, but it's raining. But I guess no, it's not. It's a drizzle. The air is moist. That's about it. But no, we had a lot of fun walking around Seattle. We pointed at the needle.
Oh,
we didn't go up it.
Did you do one of those?
Yeah, we was like, oh no, we didn't actually.
Aww.
We just pointed at it.
I'm surprised.
I know. We were tired.
In Photoshop.
We were tired from walking. Yeah, there you go. Get some fingers in there. But yeah, it was fun. It was a fun time. I like the city. I could actually see myself living there.
Oh God.
Yeah. Well, it's like New York. It's very similar.
Is it?
Yeah, it's very similar. Smaller, but similar.
Interesting.
Yeah, like just the climate, the weather, the foliage that was still in the city. The buildings are all like really old, and they all look like Ghostbuster buildings, from whatever. So it looked like a Gotham City, you know what I mean? Like you go to Seattle, you go to Chicago, you go to New York, they all kind of had that vibe. Philadelphia, that old American city vibe.
Gotcha.
So that's why I was like, I can see myself living there.
Interesting.
Lots of good coffee shops.
Great coffee shops. I waited like 30 minutes for coffee and macaroons one time down by the fish market.
Okay.
There's a nice little like French cafe. I was like, I must.
Ooh. And all the pastries are amazing too.
So good.
Pastries, the food. I was full for 2 days eating like fancy dinners and stuff. It was a good trip. It's a good romantical trip. But something not so romantical that we need to talk about. And maybe not so boring to Jessica. Like, fuck you and your love. Your love bores me. Seattle,
it's just
romantic. Call me when you go to an island.
I'm sorry. I'm not sorry.
Something not so romantic is Dana White talking crap. Zanny Pacquiao on our page asked, why does Dana White believe that points should only be taken for fouls if they are clearly intentional? Why wouldn't every fighter eye poke, groin strike, etc.? It's not illegal as long as you don't make it obvious. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think that there are some
John Jones. Whoops.
No, I know. Well, and did you see Song, like, he came out after that huge eye poke and he was like this.
He did.
I was like, what are you, now you're just taunting him. You're taunting him. You know what you're doing.
I thought that was so funny. And Herzog didn't call anything, but I think he was just like trying to keep track of everything else.
He didn't even say fingers.
Yeah.
Sir.
The first thing I noticed too, it was just out.
And they were blatant. They were like, fuck you, fingers.
They were stiff fingers. There was
stiffer than every round before that.
Stiffer than your dong. Stiffer than your dong when Jess gives you her bra after her fight.
Oh, it's hard. So fouls are a hard thing. I don't think that points should only be taken away if it was an intentional foul. I think there comes a point where it's egregious and repeated that it earns a point deduction. Mm-hmm. And I think every case can kind of be different. You know, when somebody has been thoroughly warned enough where it's causing damage, it's causing timeouts, a doctor to come in, and then you were warned. I think after that, you need to penalize. Mm-hmm. You know, the fact that these things keep happening, I think it's just part of the sport, really. And unless you're going to, close the gloves, unless you're going to, do something else, I think that this is just the landscape of what it is right now. And it's something that we as athletes have to be responsible for. We have to be responsible for our weapons, our limbs, our conduct, all of that stuff. So I think that there comes a point where they do need to be, points do need to be deducted. But I think it's different in every case.
Yeah, and it does happen. Like, we have seen clearly accidental fouls happen repeatedly, and they take a point away because that's the only way you can make it fair at that point. This person is half the man they used to be by the time the clock restarts, by the time they start fighting again. If we've seen people get nut shotted, then eye poked, same round, then fish hook. There was one fight, I can't remember which fight it was, but we saw 3 different fouls happen in the same round. And then they had to take a point. Like, even though everyone looked like an accident, you still have to take a point because this person has been just destroyed. like you hit all the vital areas that you're not supposed to. How do you not take a point away from them? They're working at a handicap at this point. Can't see, can't move my feet because my nuts hurt. There was the one famous fight with Raymond Daniels, and I remember he repeatedly he was throwing crazy kicks, spinning.
He's a Taekwondo or karate guy. Yeah. Sage Northcutt's brother-in-law.
Yes.
And this was in a Bellator fight, and he repeatedly threw spinning kicks. Was it spinning kicks?
I think it was.
Pretty sure it was spinners.
Yeah.
And just hit the guy, like direct hits. And the guy was just folded over. Who was that? That poor guy.
It was,
my heart and my stomach just ached for this guy.
Yeah, I Googled it while you're talking, but Peter Stanonik is the guy's name. And it was a spinning back kick. And the worst part about it was how Peter Stanonik was trying to keep it cool. He was trying to like play it off or not even play it off, but he was just being a good sportsman.
Yeah.
And the ref is saying, "Hey, are you okay? We're going to give you a few minutes." And he's like, "It's cool, man." You know, like he was in so much pain, but he still had no animosity towards Raymond Daniels. It's just something that happens, but also you can hear the like what the fuck in his voice, like, man, this sucks. And he ended up not being able to continue, but I think I remember them taking a point away after the second one before he couldn't continue. And I've seen it happen in UFC fights before too, where there were fouls that happened unintentionally, but you had to take the point away. So it's not always going to be the case, but yeah, there's definitely it's less likely that a point's going to be taken if it was unintentional.
Yeah. If there is a foul that was blatantly obviously intentional, point immediately. No warning.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like our poor friend Champy.
Oh.
She was in a fight where someone seemingly unintentionally fouled her. I think she like hit her at the end of the round or something, or did something dirty to her during the round. And then she retaliated, and the retaliation got a point deducted. So that's the other thing too. You got to keep a cool head when you're getting fouled, because that person's might have looked more convincing as an accident than yours. Yeah. So if you intentionally break the rules and it's obvious, then yeah, they're going to take a point away. But then look at all the people who grab the fence and they just get their hands slapped.
Yeah.
For rounds. Rounds. Never restart the position, never take a point away, never put them on the ground because they avoided a takedown. They just get their hands slapped. So every foul has a different level of, I guess, hand slapping. Slap on the wristing.
Finger shaking.
Yeah. Everyone has a different thing. But I think when you're really hurting someone, especially something that can't just, like your eyeball can't drop and then you're back and ready to fight again. Like if you get poked in the eye, it can be permanent damage. Like we've talked about it before, where after a fight, once like the adrenaline wears off and everything, you realize, oh man, this eye is a lot blurrier than this one, or oh, I saw a flash randomly. Where'd that come from? And you realize it's in your head.
Why do I feel like I'm gonna fall over?
Yeah.
Like there's serious repercussions and to these fouls that end up happening, and it's just fights are hard enough, and having to fight through fouls is just something that we shouldn't have to deal with. However, we do have to deal with it, and there should be more consequences to those fouls.
Mm-hmm. And I think it also matters who got fouled too, because I think if it was more convenient for Henry Cejudo to win, then maybe it would have ended a little differently.
Tinfoil hat moment.
I'm just saying, if it was the younger guy that was on the come up that got the big foul, maybe it wouldn't have gone to decision. Maybe
they wouldn't have started the round in the fourth and made it a decision.
I'm just saying, who knows?
No, I get you, girl.
Who knows?
I get you.
Who knows? But hey, I'm all about the old heads in the cage, and I'm always gonna root for them. And I felt horrible for Cejudo because he's really lucky too. You see where the eye poke did the most damage. He's lucky that it was in the white area and not on the what is it called, the cornea, because that's where you really get some nasty damage. And I was explaining to somebody, but I think a lot of people don't realize how devastating an eye poke like that can be, because how often do people in normal life get eye poked, right?
Not often.
No, but if you're trying to understand, like, what's the vision going to look like, if you can still open your eye, just like press on your eye a little bit. just a tiny bit, just a little bit of pressure. That's the difference of being able to see clearly and being able to see after you get eye poked. Like that shit looks crazy. You know, like you're seeing double, it's blurry, it just doesn't make any sense. So it's really hard to imagine someone being able to fight through that. It's tough. So hats go off to you. And yeah, Dana isn't wrong, but he also isn't completely correct. Like you do get fouls or get points deducted for unintentional fouls. It just probably takes a couple more times for them to actually do something about it. Yeah. We had another thing, right?
Yeah, so a headline just came out about ex-UFC champ reveals Dana White paid him just $14K for a world title against Dominic Cruz. Now, this is back in the earlier of the 2000s, but still, it is crazy. And we're talking about Demetrius Johnson. I was actually paid less in my title fight, just saying.
Oh. Also fighting up a weight class.
Yeah, but let's listen to the man complain.
How much were you willing to put that info out there? How much were you paid?
I was paid $8 and $8.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I think you've said that before, but still, every time it hurts my heart.
Oh, it fucking hurts me too. It hurts me too. But no, nobody cares about what I was paid. But somebody like Demetrius Johnson speaking out about this, it holds a little bit more weight, because he was a dominant champion for so long. At the end of his career, he said that he was making $350K, which is a little bit more acceptable and palatable for a champion.
Yeah.
I feel like at that time that was, a good amount of money. I feel like it, if it was nowadays, it should be obviously more, just especially because with what the company's been making.
Yeah, and especially with the amount of times he defended. I think he broke Anderson Silva's record. With how many times he defended the belt?
I'm sure he did. I don't have those stats right here in this article. But I will say he also complained that he didn't get pay-per-view points.
Yeah.
Which, if you guys don't know, like if you are like a needle mover, say like Conor McGregor, you get pay-per-view points. And that's, a significant amount of money. That's where you make a lot of the money if that's, if your purse isn't larger. So being on a card with him, or being him, somebody like that can, really fatten your wallet.
Yeah.
But he was saying that he initially started at $14K, then it went to 20, and then it went up to 24, and then eventually 100, and then 350. So he's made a good amount of money, but even the champions nowadays are making, double that.
Yeah. Carla Esparza made a ton of money when she defended her belt against Weili after she had won it from Rose. And for her to make way more money, I think she headlined under Adesanya versus Pereira. So that card lined her bank account. Like that was a huge pay-per-view. Imagine if DJ was able to get that money from his title defenses too. He had so many. Let me look up how many he actually had, but I know he was trying to break the record before he got traded to ONE FC. So yeah, man, Demetrius Johnson was always one of those ones where I was like, man, he really took one for the team, speaking out about fighter pay and speaking out about, not getting pay-per-view points and everything, because it started to make the conversation a little more valid. And I think before, people were more on the company side when it came to, well, they're still growing. They're like the company isn't where NBA and NFL is, so of course they're not going to get paid as much. But when you start to do the numbers and when you start to like see how much these athletes are actually worth, then it starts to make more sense as to why the fighters are wanting more. And it's not just a selfishness thing. It's also hey, they deserve more than what they're getting. So I think that's pretty crazy that happened, and it's crazy that it happened to you too. I mean, you were coming off of the tough contract, but back then I guess it wasn't as normal to change the contract because you were fighting for the title? Like, I don't know. I'm kind of asking a question and making a statement at the same time, but yeah, it's just
No,
wild that it happened that way.
It was something that was done, just not for me. I was told Sean Shelby was the matchmaker at the time, and he just said no. You know, he said that you can negotiate after you win.
Yeah, and the tough thing is, it's like, how do you say no to that?
You don't. No, he basically told me, no. I'm not kidding.
That.
And I love Sean Shelby. I've was friends with him before I was signed to the organization. He tried to scout me and get me on the Ultimate Fighter initially because he, believed in my talents. I told him I was undersized and I wasn't interested. And he told me, listen, like, not just him, but like other fighters that were in the UFC told me I was an idiot and to call him back. By then it was too late, so I had to audition.
Yeah.
And then, Shelby, when he made that phone call to me, like, I won't forget it. We were like, it was after training. We were at team lunch and, he gave me, what it was. And I told him, I was like, oh, well, blah, 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 this and that. He's like, listen, I'm going to hang up right now and I'm going to call you back. And when I call back, you're going to say yes and you're going to do it with a smile. And I was like, okay.
And he kind of screwed you because he already went through this with you with the Ultimate Fighter. So he did it again.
Yeah.
And this time you folded a lot faster because you didn't want to audition for it for the championship belt.
Yeah.
No one would have said no to that opportunity, 8-8 or 2-2. Like, everyone would have been like, yes, because of what it could mean. Yeah. Like, you're gonna take that risk. And it just frustrates me that that's how it went down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they're bullies. Fucked up.
Well, there's a thing brewing. there's a thing brewing where you can make some of that right, but the good thing is we're starting to climb out of that dark age where people are getting severely underpaid, and now you see people getting signed with slightly better contracts. Like, even when I left and came back to the UFC, I was able to get a much better contract than when I initially got cut. I forget how much it was, but it was like 15 or 18 or something like that. And yeah, like, just to see the tough contract too, I was like, oh wow, they get 10 and 10 now, like a couple of years later, it's steadily increased. So I feel like we're slowly getting out of that where people can still get signed and make a living without having to, take out a ton of loans or work 50 jobs to survive or whatnot. Hopefully we continue to grow and we can get to that level that the real athletes are financially. Because it always blows my mind when I ask someone, I'll meet like a football player or something. I'm like, so how much do you guys get paid when you get signed out of college? And they're like,
oh no, college athletes are getting paid now.
Oh, are they?
Fucking college
Good for them.
athletes.
Well, they have like their video game rights are being signed out and everything. Their likenesses.
It's crazy.
So.
They can get sponsors. They can get, colleges can trade their athletes like professional athletes.
Dang.
It's insane. Yeah. They're making money.
Dang. Good for them though, because that wasn't the case years ago.
No.
Yeah. When did this happen?
I think just within the last couple of years.
Oh,
no,
nice.
it's fairly recent to my understanding. But yeah, it's a game changer for these people, but it also, it's going to create a new wave of problems that, like people holding out or people being traded, people taking spots for other people that are trying to come up. It's just, it's creating more challenges for upcoming, young athletes in college to get into a good school.
Because
there's like kind of a gatekeeping, because there's, people wanting like the star and paying for it, but then the other people, it's just taking opportunities away from people in different ways.
Oh, okay. I feel like that was always the case though. Like, you would get certain promises made to you when you're in college, but they don't really cash out until after you've graduated. And now at least the athletes are making a little money for the money that they're bringing into the schools, because
they're making a lot of money.
The schools make a lot of money.
Used to make a ton of money on merchandise.
The schools make so much money off of those athletes.
Yeah.
So it's only right.
Yeah.
It'll even itself out. Anytime things change, there's going to be a little like craziness that's attached to it, but hopefully it'll even itself out and doesn't cause people to try to backtrack and take money out of these kids' pockets, because they're children, you know, and they're destroying their bodies. They deserve to be compensated for it. But yeah, hopefully we'll be in that boat too. Like, don't pay these UFC fighters because they're all gonna be crazy. No, we need it. We need our retirement money. Come on, otherwise we're gonna be fighting till we're 50.
Yeah, that's right.
And not because we choose to, like I do. All right. Well, that's all we got. Jess has to get out of here and get back with her fight camp activities.
I know.
Slow fight camp, not fast fight camp.
Well, yes. Easing into it.
Ease the mind into the workout mentality.
Yes. No, it's good though. I'm excited. I'm excited to get a date.
Yeah.
I'm excited to get an opponent.
It'll happen.
Can't wait.
It'll happen. Wait, you know what I do to keep myself from going too crazy before, like, I want to actually start putting my pedal to the metal? I have a nightcap every night.
Well, yeah.
It slows me down. Because if I wake up too fresh, I'm like...
That's like me on Mondays.
Burn
man.
myself
I feel
out.
myself out on Monday, and then I gas myself out for the rest of the week. I like, why was it necessary to do 3 workouts on a Monday?
Yeah, no, I do the same thing.
Still the whole fucking week.
I do the same thing. No, you gotta have a chill Monday. You know what I started doing, and people are gonna hate me for this, but I started sleeping in on Monday.
Wow.
Sleeping in on Monday stops me from trying to be an overachiever for the rest of the week.
Dude, I get so pumped for Mondays. I'm not kidding you. But I didn't do my morning workout because I had to make sure to watch footage and, come in here. So, no, it was good. It's good.
Okay.
That way.
It's good for the brain.
It is.
Yeah, you're like, ooh, let me do that tomorrow.
Yeah.
Let me try that move. Yeah. All right. Well, this has been another 2 Straws. Make sure you become a member so you can be part of the giveaway at the end of the month. And what else? That's it.
Send in your questions.
Send us your questions.
Always comment your questions, concerns, comments. Don't be a dick.
Everyone's been really chill.
For the most part.
For the most part. I didn't look during fight week. I couldn't handle
I don't know. I know
the one shady comment that might have popped up.
No, there was no shadiness. I was monitoring.
Okay, yeah, good. Good job.
Yeah.
I'll do the same for you.
I was like, we'll mute.
Yeah. But thanks everyone for your support, for your follows, for your listens, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Okay.
It's new. I can adjust.